All right, we're going to talk today about the clothing that Jesus wore back in his day. You should have this worksheet out, the little boy and little girl. Um, and I was looking at the pictures of Jesus, from little boy Jesus, what he wore, and looks like it's more of like brown. I'd probably color that like a light brown tan. If you can color lightly with your brown crayon, it'll look more tan. um, White. I know a lot of people back then, if you look on the front here, a lot of them did wear white and stuff, but you're not leaving them white. I want you to color. The little girl, she could be, I don't think they really had much pink back then. I was looking at the Lazarus picture. If you look at like he had on tan, Jesus had on some blue. The lady did wear Martha or Mary. She had on some green or blue, but darker colors. It looked like they were when it was those. But then you also got your white, but it's not like a white white. It's almost like a light tan. So just to give you some ideas how you would like to color them. Their sandals though were definitely most were like they were probably brown. They didn't have like pink or blue or fancy stuff back then. They just more simple. And I'm going to read to you in my book here about the name of their clothes. So you can work on coloring this. And I also have a story called The Costume. It is with Dave. I'll get that group. We're going to talk about the Hunters. Story with them called The Costume. So, but let me read to you first. A tunic. A tunic was a shirt usually made of leather, haircloth, wool, or linen. The simplest tunics did not have sleeves and reached to the knees or ankles. Both men and women wore them. So I'm thinking what he has on here. Well, he does have sleeves. So this is kind of similar to maybe a tunic, what they wore. Men didn't wear pants, like they didn't have like pants back then like that. A girdle. Tunics were often worn with a belt, which was called a girdle. So see the belt he has on there. To make it easier for the wearer to walk, the girdle was often made of a 6-inch width of leather or linen, and it was also used to hold a sword or a pouch for money. They would hook like a pouch because they didn't have pockets. They didn't have pockets to put stuff in, so they hook like a little pouch on their girdle, which was like about a mantle. This outer garment was like a cloak or overcoat. It was made of wool, goat's hair, or cotton. It was often used as a blanket. So that would be kind of like what, if you look at our little boy Jesus, what he had on brown. Let me go back to this picture. That was called a mantle. They said they would even use it as a blanket. Yeah, they had very simple lives back then. A headdress, that's what this little girl has on. And also, if you look at, even some of the men wore them. If you look at our picture from Lazarus, too. Some men even have, the ladies have. Mostly the ladies would wear them. The women wore a piece of fabric to cover their faces and heads. A turban was also part of the Jewish head covering. Arabs wore a longer veil that covered part of their clothing. So that was just um, part of their style of clothing that they would wear back then. So, all right, we're going to talk about our story called The Costume. It says, listen to find out to whom mom was making a costume. So I'll put them up here. We got mom in our story. And I think I see Dave's name in here. So dad, I see his name in there. Okay. So listen to my story. You can color while you're listening. And then I'll ask you some questions. It says, Mom finished sewing the last seam of the tunic and then held it up so she could see it better. I think this will do, she thought. Dave, come here, called Mom. I'm ready for you to try this on. Dave had a big grin on his face when he came into the room. What is a grin? You have a big grin on your face, big smile. He was like, oh, he probably really liked it, huh? He was glad that Mom had taken time to work on his costume for the junior church play. So he's in a play at the church. Mom helped Dave pull the tunic over his head. Then she fastened the fabric belt around his waist. It was hard for Dave to stand still while Mom pulled and adjusted the fabric. Stand still while I measure you, insisted Mom as she wound the tape measure around Dave's head. She placed a piece of fabric on Dave's head and then cut a strand of rope to hold it on. What do you think? Asked Mom as she led Dave over to the mirror. Wow, exclaimed Dave. I look just like a Bible person. I like the way it turned out. I just need to press it and hang it up. Have you memorized your part yet? You take you take all of your money, Zacchaeus. It's not fair, quoted Dave in a soft voice. Say it with a little more excitement. Pretend that someone just took something from you, suggested Mom. Take all of our money, Zacchaeus. It's not fair, exclaimed Dave. That's more like it, said Mom. The next Sunday night at church, the boys and girls acted out the story of Zacchaeus for the adults. We actually are learning about Zacchaeus in Bible, I think possibly maybe next week. Let me look. Yes, actually we're learning about Zacchaeus next week. So most of you should know about Zacchaeus, but we'll learn about him next week in Bible. All right, so let me go back. The next Sunday night at church, the boys and girls acted out the story of Zacchaeus for the adults. The children were excited about their costumes. The boy playing Zacchaeus wore fancier costumes than the others and carried a bag for his coins. There was a house, a well, and even a pretend sheep and donkey on stage. You take all of our money, Zacchaeus. It's not fair, exclaimed Dave. Mom and Dad smiled as Dave finished saying his part, pleased with the way he had performed. The boy playing Zacchaeus climbed the short step ladder when the boy playing Jesus walked by. After church, Mom and Dad gave Dave a big hug and praised him for saying his part so clearly. I guess I'll have to treat the family to yogurt since Zacchaeus took all of your money, laughed Dad. So they were going to go somewhere and get probably some frozen yogurt. That sounds good. Because he did a good job. But his dad was joking with him because he's trying to say Zacchaeus took Dave's money. All right, I'm going to ask you some questions. Let's see if you were paying attention. Who was Mom making the costume for? In the beginning of our story, who was she making the costume for? Dave. When did you first know the play was about people long ago? When I was reading the story, how did you know? What did I say in the story that you knew that this was about people long ago? Dave was trying on a tunic with a belt made of fabric. When I talked about the tunic, that should have given you a clue. It was from long ago. What was Dave going to wear on his head in the program? What did Mom make for him on his head? Remember, she was measuring his head. She had a piece of fabric and a rope. Was Dave getting ready to be Zacchaeus in the play? Was Dave Zacchaeus? No. He was one of the people, because remember his part was, you take all of our money, Zacchaeus. It's not fair. So he was talking to Zacchaeus in the story. He was not Zacchaeus. Why did Dave do such a good job with his part? Why did you think he did a good job? Remember, he said it for his mom, but he didn't say it quite right, and his mom encouraged him to practice and do it better. So because he practiced a lot, practice his part. You usually do practice. The more you practice something, the better you get at it. So that's why he did good. And why did the boy playing Zacchaeus in the play climb up on a ladder when Jesus walked by. Why did he climb up on a little step ladder? You know the story of Zacchaeus. What did Zacchaeus? Remember, he was a wee. The song Zacchaeus was a wee little man. He was short, and he couldn't see Jesus, so he climbed up on what? Does anybody remember what Zacchaeus climbed up on? A sycamore tree. We'll learn more about this next week when we learn about Zacchaeus. So, to represent a sycamore tree, the little boy climbed up on a step ladder. Because they obviously weren't going to have a sycamore tree in the church for their play. And why do you think that Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus? Why was Zacchaeus trying to see Jesus? Well, maybe he heard about Jesus, didn't know who Jesus really was, but he heard about him. He was curious and wanted to see who's this guy they're talking about, this guy Jesus. So that's probably why he climbed up, because he was curious. And what was Dad's special treat after the play? Yogurt. Yeah, he's taking everybody out for probably frozen yogurt, I would think. So, and then what did Dad mean when he said he'd have to buy the yogurt treat because Dave did not have any money? Why did he say? He was talking about Dave's line in the play where he said, "You take all of our money, Zacchaeus." He was joking with him, saying, "Yeah, Zacchaeus took all your money, so I'll have to buy the yogurt treat, the frozen yogurt." All right, so you should hopefully have your picture colored by now. And hopefully you were listening. Oh, I forgot to say, write your name. Most important thing, huh? I've been forgetting that a lot lately. I remember after I've already tell you what to do. So hopefully your name is written on there. And you can flip your page over, and we're going to learn about a new vowel with bossy R. I still have my bossy R here. Today you have your O. We're putting O. You should have this in the back of the book today to cut out. So you can cut out your O for bossy R. Next week we'll learn about him with the other vowels with E, I, and U. We'll learn about those with him. So now we have our O. We had our A, now we have our O with bossy R. So when bossy R is with the O, you hear the sound or. That's or up there. Let me get my chart here for you. I got my big chart. Move this over for a minute. So we have or. When you see an OR together, you say or. So we have a sword. See the OR. We have an organ. The organ. And we have, oh, he looks a little bit scary. A hornet. A hornet. Oh, I like this picture. The beach. It's a compound word. Let me cover this up. We have sea, S-E-A, meaning S-E-A talks about the water, the sea in the water, not that you see. Remember, S-E-E is when you see something with your eyes, like you see something. This kind of sea, they're talking about water. Okay, so the ocean, the water, sea. So this is sea, S-H-O-R-E is shore. It's a compound word. Sea, shore. Sea, shore. That looks nice. I'd like to go there. Play in the sand. Stick your toes in the sand. So we're talking about or. O-R. All right, so practice writing your uppercase and lowercase j. Probably already were writing that too. And we're going to do this next part. It says, mark the sentence that matches each picture. So we have here this little boy. Looks like he is taking out the garbage and putting garbage in the garbage can. We're going to read these and you're going to mark, you're going to fill in the circles, okay? So we have here B-O-B, short O, Bob. Bob did his, remember CH says ch. We have O-R, or, chores. So let's read that again. Bob did his chores. Now let's read this next part. Look, the same name. We got Bob again. Bob. This word is went to the st. We have or. And you don't hear your E. That's Miss Silent there. She's quiet. So you just say store. So Bob went to the store. Well, to me, it looks like he's doing chores. So let's fill in. Get my crayon here. Fill in the circle for the first one there. Do that with your pencil. Fill it in. All right, let's look down at the bottom here. What is he doing down here? Oh my goodness. That dog's got a hold of his coat and he looks scared. I'd be scared. So let's read these next ones. We have H-E, long E. Remember we learned these when Miss Long wanted to be alone. He, we have O-R with an ort, tore my, long oak, coat. He tore my coat. Let's read the next one. He, get the O-R there again with a W, put a W, or wore my, short A, cap. He wore my cap. Well, nobody has a cap on there. The dog's biting his jacket, his coat. So it should be he tore my coat. Oh my, he's not a very good dog, is he? He's a bad dog. At least the dog didn't bite him. He's just biting his coat. All right, let's read our words together on our lily pads. Ready? We have, wear, of, want, splash. All right. Get your next page out. Your next page and get your name on it. Should look like this one. Next page with O-R. O-R, remember, says or. It says color each picture that has the or sound you hear in store. So I'll read to you what each picture is and tell you which ones to color. Okay, so the first one is store. So you can color this first one, store. Take you a while to do that. I'll read to you what each one is. I'll color them too with you real quick here. So I'm just going to color my store blue. It doesn't matter what color you color things. And I'm going to do them real quick here so it doesn't take too long. So the first one is store. So you can color store. Now that's a boo-boo. A boo-boo is also called a sore. So he has a sore. So you are going to color the arm. I don't have skin color, so I'm going to go with my orange and color it really lightly. Because I don't have all the crayons that you do. I'll color my Band-Aid orange. There you go. So that's a sore. Okay. Next one we have is a train. Train. What long vowel sound do you hear in train? Hopefully you said A. Yeah, it's long A. So we're not coloring that one. All right, let's jump down here to shark. Shar, R, A-R. Nope, I'm not coloring him. This is the shore, seashore, like in our picture, seashore. So if you look on here, it's kind of hard to tell. Like part of it is the sand and part of it is the water. So I'll show you. Let me color this real quick so you see which part is the water. The part where the sun is setting. See this part here? This is the water because you see the reflection of the sun on there. So that's the sun. I'll color a little like light brown for the sand. So there. You see that for seashore? Seashore. Okay. I didn't do the sky. You don't have to worry about the sky. It's okay. All right. Next we have star. Star. Do you hear an or in there? No. AR. So we're not coloring that. All right. Let's go down to that. That's a farm. Farm. Nope. Here are another AR. We have, what is that? Arc. Arc. Here another AR, huh? And the last one is, this is a core. The middle of the apple, it's an apple core. Core, do you hear the or? Yes. So you'll color that. You can color, I'm going to color mine. You know, once you get done eating that, it does turn a little brown. So I'm coloring mine a little bit brown, and I'll probably I'll put a little bit of red on the top of my, I don't know if I can find my, oh, here's my red. Make it be a red apple. Okay. So these are the ones you should have colored. You should have store, soar, seashore, and core. And I will read to you our little Bible verse at the bottom. It says, the heavens declare the glory of God. Psalm 19, verse 1. All right, let's turn our pages over. You need your pencil for this part. It has O-R-E. O-R-E is still or, because you have a silent, Miss Silence on the end there. She's quiet, you don't hear her, so it's still or. It says circle the correct letter, write the letter on the line. So you're gonna circle up here, which one, and then write it there. So for the first one, you have, well, if you do W is war, T is tour. Well, what's she doing with the hat? She wore the hat. So trace over that, circle the W, write your W. Next, again, that's the boo-boo there. So is this a soar? And they have the O-R-E. So is it soar or tour? Soar. Excuse me. So I'm going to circle the S and write an S. Soar. Let's look what's she doing to the paper. Is it tour or core? Tore. So circle the T. She did to the paper. She tore the paper. So write a T on there. Okay. Let's go down to the little boy. He's showing, looks like that apple again. We have core and soar. Can you put in here, if you put a C there, core or soar? Core. So circle your C and put a C there. Now look at this little girl. Looks like she's setting the table. So we have tore. She's not tearing up anything, ripping up anything. We have CH. What sound does CH make? Ch. Chore. It's probably her chore to set the table, huh? So CH. You should have a CH written there. Circle CH. And this last one, we have ST, store. And with a C, core. Where is the little boy at? Store. So, ST. Should have that written on there. ST, store. All right, read. Let's read all these. We'll go up and down, top and bottom. So we have core, CH, chore, S, soar, ST, store, T, tore, and with a W, wore. Now this wore is spelled like you wear, like she wore the hat. If you spell war, it's spelled a different way. Like when you're in a fight, when the war, that's a different one. It's spelled a different way. W-A-R actually. That's a whole nother, because it's not spelled, it's not pronounced war. like I've been teaching you. So anyways, when it has the O-R-E, that's like you put something like clothing, wore this or wore that. All right, handwriting page for today is page 150. Mark, that's the name, Mark plays his horn. So page 150, you want to do that one. And color, you can color his horn, whatever color you want to color his horn. It can be any color. Horns can be any color. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to talk about Bible transportation. Well, how did they get around the Bible? They didn't have cars back then, so we'll talk about that tomorrow, and we'll continue learning about OR. So get ready for your math test. Your math test is next.